They laughed at him before they ever learned his name. Not the kind of laughter that slips out accidentally, but the kind that lingers in the air, heavy with judgment. The kind that assumes it already knows who you are, what you deserve, and how small your place in the world should be. He stood near the entrance of the mall, blending into the background of marble floors and glass walls. His clothes were clean but simple. No designer logo. No polished shoes. Just an ordinary man standing quietly, watching people pass as if he were invisible. To them, he was nobody. And that was exactly why he was there. Before this story goes any further, pause for a moment. Where are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments. And if you enjoy powerful stories that reveal deep life lessons, support the channel by liking and subscribing. It helps us keep sharing stories that stay with you long after the video ends. Now listen carefully, because this story isn't really about money. It's about how people behave when they think power is one-sided. The mall was one of the biggest in the city, a symbol of wealth, success, and status. Every day, thousands walk through its doors, business owners, executives, influencers, shoppers chasing luxury and validation. The staff moved quickly, trained to smile, trained to obey, trained to protect the image of the place. And then there was him. He arrived early that morning before the crowd. He walked slowly, not lost, not confused. Observing, listening, noticing details others ignored. How security spoke to people. How cleaners were treated. How staff behaved when they thought no one important was watching. A guard noticed him standing too long near one of the pillars. "Sir, you can't loiter here," the guard said, already irritated. "I'm just waiting," the man replied calmly. "For who?" "For the truth," he said softly. The guard scoffed and walked away. By mid-morning, the mall was alive. Laughter echoed. Music played. Shoes clicked against marble. A group of young staff members stood near the information desk, whispering and glancing in his direction. "Is he lost?" one of them laughed. "He's been standing there since morning," another added. "Probably waiting for someone to buy him lunch," a third said, shaking her head. They laughed louder this time, making sure he could hear. He did. But he said nothing. What they didn't know was that he had heard worse. Years ago, he had sat in boardrooms where voices were sharp and smiles were fake. Where men in expensive suits smiled while planning how to steal what wasn't theirs. Where betrayal didn't come loudly, but quietly, through forged signatures, hidden clauses, and trusted hands that suddenly turned against him. His name was William Cole, and once, not long ago, he was one of the youngest self-made billionaires in the region. He built his fortune from logistics and commercial real estate. Warehouses, malls, transport hubs. He believed in systems, not shortcuts. But belief doesn't protect you from betrayal. His partners drained accounts, blamed him, and disappeared. Court cases followed. Headlines twisted the truth. Investors ran. Friends vanished. So Williams disappeared too. Not to escape, but to observe. He spent months watching how people treated those they believed were powerless. Drivers, cleaners, street vendors, security guards. He learned more about humanity during those months than he ever learned in boardrooms filled with polished lies. This mall was his final stop. What no one knew, not the guards, not the staff, not even the manager, was that just 48 hours earlier, Williams had finalized the purchase of the mall through a holding company. Quietly, legally, completely. He didn't announce it. He wanted to see the truth first. That afternoon, the mall manager arrived. A man known for his sharp tongue and inflated ego. He noticed the staff laughing, followed their gaze, and saw Williams. "What's that man doing there?" he asked. "Just standing around," someone replied. "Make sure he doesn't cause trouble," the manager said dismissively. Moments later, security approached again. "You've been told already," one guard snapped. "You don't belong here." Williams looked at him, eyes calm. "Belonging," he said, "is an interesting word." The guard raised his voice, drawing attention. Shoppers stopped. Staff watched. Some smiled. And then everything changed. The mall went silent. A black executive car pulled up outside. Doors opened. A man in a tailored suit stepped out, followed by two assistants. The manager's phone buzzed violently in his pocket. He answered, his face drained of color. Yes, sir. I understand," he said, voice trembling. He hung up and rushed toward Williams. Sweating. Nervous. Almost bowing. "Sir, welcome," he said quietly. That single word echoed louder than any shout. The laughter vanished. Security froze. The staff who mocked him suddenly couldn't meet his eyes. Williams turned slowly, looking at each face. Not with anger. Not with pride. With disappointment. "I didn't come here to announce myself," he said evenly. "I came to observe." No one breathed. "I wanted to see how people behave when they think someone has no power," he continued. "When they believe respect is optional." Some guards stepped back. Some staff lowered their heads. "I've seen enough," he said. An emergency board meeting was called that same evening. Staff were ordered to attend. Rumors spread. Fear traveled faster than truth. Inside the boardroom, Williams stood at the head of the table. Calm. Grounded. Unmoved. "I won't fire anyone for what happened today," he said. A wave of relief washed over the room. "But," he added, "this place will change." He spoke about dignity. About systems. About respect. Training programs were introduced. Policies rewritten. Managers replaced. Not out of revenge, but accountability. "Money doesn't reveal character," Williams said. "It exposes it." Weeks passed. The mall changed. Security greeted everyone politely. Staff learned names. Cleaners were acknowledged. Williams didn't come often. He didn't need to. The lesson had already taken root. And one morning, as he walked through the entrance for the last time, no one laughed. They stood respectfully. Not because he was rich, but because they finally understood. If this story taught you something, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Share it with someone who needs this reminder. Because the next story might change how you see the world.